Well, howdy there, everybody. I'm here for Full of Beans, chapter 23, opening night. They came in their Bermuda shorts and smart linen dresses and shiny shoes. They strolled down Duval and filled up the rooms at the newly opened plush Casa Marina Hotel. They ventured onto the little lanes, eager to see our island. They arrived by boat and train and automobile. We had been invaded again by tourists. Here comes two more, Pork Chop hissed. A sign that says Saldano's announced the little lunch counter set under the porch in front of Pork Chop's house. The Saldano's place had been fixed courtesy of New Dealer money. Mr. Stone thought it was important to have local color, so I convinced him to build Mrs. Saldano a lunch counter where she could serve authentic Cuban cuisine to the tourists. And of course, he would fix up the damage from the fire in the process. Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir, I greeted the tourists. Would you like to try some delicious Cuban cuisine? The lady was wearing big sunglasses and a wide hat and a pretty striped dress. She looked like she just stepped out of a Hollywood movie. Oh, darling, would you look at that? She said to the man. Are you kids the welcoming committee? He asked with a smile. We sure are, Too Bad said with a grin. How charming, she said. We'd love to. They sat down on stools and they surveyed the menu. Well, what do you suggest? Asked the man. So they went about their eating, and my best pal's mom was back to her usual self, cooking away. Of course, she still sold Bolita numbers out of her kitchen, but nobody could stop Bolita. Or booze. I heard that Johnny Cakes couldn't bring the liquor fast enough for those thirsty tourists. Avery was busy too. I ran into him later that day. He had his easel set up by the ocean. His paintings and those of the other New Dealer artists now hung in cafes and bars all over town. So, what do you think? He asked. I say the picture he was painting, tourists in swimsuits, lounging on the beach. To be honest, it's not as good as your houses. He chuckled. I meant Key West. It seems Mr. Stone's little experiment might be working out. There sure are a lot of tourists. Can't walk down a lane without tripping over one, I said. Worse than termites. Say, I'm going to give art lessons. Would you like to come? Sure, I said. Maybe I could give you some tips. We both laughed. It seemed our little town was becoming especially popular with the artist crowd. Murray swore that Hollywood's actors were visiting Key West. I heard that Myrna Lloyd checked into the Casa Marina last night, he told me. For a guy who only came out at night, he certainly knew what was what. But it wasn't just actors. Painters and writers were showing up by the droves. I was in the New Dealer office when one of them walked up. The hotel's full up, he said. I'm looking for accommodation. What's your name, mister? I asked him. Robert Frost. What do you do? I'm a poet. Hey, we got a writer living here, I told him. Then I lowered my voice. He's not very good, though. Really? The man asked curiously. What's his name? Ernest Hemingway. Then someone more exciting than any Hollywood actor or fancy author arrived in Key West. When I got home from school one afternoon, my father's shoes were sitting on the front porch. Poppy, I cried, and I opened the door. He was sitting at the little kitchen table. Have you grown? He asked me with a fond smile. Yes, I told him, because I had. Tell Beans the news, my mother said. I got a job, he announced. My stomach twisted a little. In New Jersey? He shook his head. No, at Montcumba Key on the highway. So that's just a little bit north of Key West. I'll work up there during the week and come back on the weekends. How does that sound to you? Well, that just sounded wonderful, like a Hollywood movie. I half expected Shirley Temple to tap dance through our kitchen. Me and the gang were sitting in front of the New Dealer office with a wagon full of babies. We had Dizzy and Clary today. Little Clara was the baby of a couple vacationing in Key West. Ma did their laundry, so I offered to watch the baby. What's one more baby after all? Say, there's going to be a game of marbles after lunch, Ira announced. Who's playing? I asked. Mighty Mipsters, Ira said. Sure, I said. Always happy to take the Mipsters marbles. Pork Chop grinned at me. You shred it, Reet. The keepies were back on top. We hadn't lost a game in weeks. Nobody could touch us. A man in a suit and a fedora walked up to us. "Hello there, kids," he said. "I'm a newspaper man from New York City, here to feature about a Key West story." The Key West story? It kind of sounded like a movie title. "Folks are calling this place Recovery Key because you managed to turn things around. It's heartwarming. People can't get enough of it." He looked closely at me. "What's your name?" "Beans Curry." "You grew up here?" "Sure did. I'm a Key West conch." He gestured to the wagon of the sleeping babies. "So you offer a babysitting service for visiting tourists?" he asked. "I guess so." "Beans has a way with babies," Kermit said. "A way with babies? I like it," the newspaper man said, writing down that quote. "What a smart little businessman you are. Even mothers need a vacation." I felt like I had been struck by lightning. That was it. It was the perfect business idea, and it had been in front of my eyes the whole time. We would peddle babies. "Can I snap a photo of you and your gang of kids?" the man asked. "Why not?" I said. We posed in front of the new dealer office, our feet dirty and bare for the whole world to see. "What should I call you in the caption?" he asked, and I smiled. "Call us the Diaper Gang." In our next chapter, the last chapter, is called The Diaper Gang.